Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Salty Commander podcast. I am the most creative EDH deck builder, Balam Nájera.
Hi guys, this is Raul, and I'm the grind master. Yeah, I like to grind.
The Grind Master.
Yeah.
Victor could not join us today because he's living it up in San Diego,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah, living the good life.
Living the good life, living the best life.
Yeah, living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have today a very spicy episode. You know that crazy new format, Brawl?
What? It's like
Well,
Commander, but
yeah, but boring? Nah.
yeah.
If you play Brawl, it's okay, it's whatever. I don't know. You do you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take one of the Brawl cards and make an EDH deck.
Yeah.
Upgrade it.
Upgraded version. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have the commander that I chose. This is a home brew, a special made deck by me, and I'm very proud of it because I think it's like kind of janky but super good. Like I mean not good, fun, super fun.
Yeah. On paper, seems like a lot of synergies going on.
Yeah.
And it's not your typical fairy tribal control-ish, combo-ish thingy.
Yeah, so the commander is Alela, artful provocateur. And let me read the card first, and we can talk about the deck.
Yep.
It's a 4 CMC, 1 generic, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black. Legendary creature, fairy warlock. It has flying, death touch, lifelink on a 2/3 body. And other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. So kind of an anthem effect. Anthem.
The keyword of the day.
And whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So the deck is gonna be a fairy tribal deck. But here's the twist. It only has like 12 fairy cards.
Wow. How are you going to do?
How are you gonna do a fairy tribal deck?
Yeah, with only 12? What is going on?
So here's the thing. When I first saw the Brawl cards announced, I immediately rotated into Alela because I had a fairy deck, and then the Great Purge happened and I lost everything. Yeah. But now I'm in the process of rebuilding it, and it couldn't have come on a better time because instead of doing the old deck, I'm gonna build this one, and I still think it has a lot of personality, and it's still super tribally, but you guys see. So it's not actually like we're gonna actually play with all of Alela's effects because normally like this is not gonna be a one of those enchantment artifact combo decks with creatures and sacrifice, do this, do that, and then put something. Nah, that's too boring, and we're not gonna go the Esper control route. I think that's again way overdone, and there's better commanders for it.
Yep.
This is, as I said, it is a tribal deck, but it's like an Anthem fairy tribal.
And also it doubles also as a token strategy. I mean, it is a token strategy, but within the tribal theme, right?
Yeah. Like it depends on the tokens to be tribal. So what's an Anthem? There was this old card called what was it?
Glorious Anthem.
Glorious Anthem. Can you read it for us?
Yes, it's an enchantment. I'm reading it from just using my memory, but let me search the card. First of all, it's an enchantment for 1 generic and 2 white, and it reads: creatures you control get +1/+1. Easy peasy.
So it's pretty basic. It's very well known, and a lot of cards that have come with creatures you control get XX number are called
Hmm.
anthems, or like anthem effects,
Yep.
um, because of this card. And well, the point of the deck actually is to run a lot of these type of cards, which are artifacts and enchantments. And every time you cast an artifact or enchantment, you put a fairy. So let's say you cast one, right? There, Alela is on the field, and you
Hmm.
cast Glorious Anthem. Now you got Alela and a fairy, which both have a +1/+1 because of the anthem, and also the fairy has an extra +1 because of Alela's effect.
Hmm.
And that's the point of the whole deck, like uh, to keep
So yeah,
casting all of these cards of these enchantment or artifacts, and keep
mhm.
growing the army. So it's
So
basically
yeah,
yeah, kind of like like
yeah,
if I just casted fairies that had all your other fairies have +1/+1.
true. You're creating fairies without actually casting any fairies. And it's cool that just for playing in one anthem spell, like Glorious Anthem, you will have a Lila which is what, 3/4? It will be 3/4,
Yeah,
and the token will be 3/2, right?
the token would be, yeah, 3/2.
So just for one anthem, if you do that
Yeah,
like
like just
times
one anthem
five,
and your commander, you have
yeah, if a
uh
3/4 and a 3/2, just for one.
and they're both flyers, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pretty good.
And if you continue to do this in the late game, you will all of a sudden will have like, let's say, like 5 or 6 fairies, because you're also running like creature fairies.
Yeah, I'm running some creature fairies. Like as I said, like I'm running like 12. And
Hmm.
let's go to the creatures. Let's read some of the important ones. So
Hmm.
like the first one I want to mention, and one of my favorite cards and fairies, is Oona, Queen of the Fae, which is a 6 CMC card. It's 3 generic and 3 hybrid blue and black mana. So you can play either blue or black to cast this card. Legendary creature fairy wizard. It's a 5/5 and it's a flyer. Now it has another effect, which is the fun part. It's X generic mana and one hybrid blue or black mana. That's the cost. And the
The
effect
hybrid
is
symbol.
choose a color. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of his or her library. For each card of the chosen color exiled this way, put a 1/1 blue and black fairy rogue creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So you create a token, right?
Yep.
And for people like thinking, well, it's kind of hard if you're going against 3 colored or 2 colored decks. Not really. It's really easy
I mean,
to make
yeah,
Una very valuable.
yeah. And in this type of deck, if you're getting like 3 or even 2 fairies out of this, it's okay, because the fairies are going to be like 4 3s or 5 4s.
Like just
So just
just because of like just with Una and Alela, the fairies are gonna be like 2. So
mhm.
I don't know. It's a lot of value because it doesn't sound like a lot, but it really overwhelms you easily.
Yeah, if you're able to build up all your enchantments, in the late game you will have like a ton of value, a ton of flyers, which is the important part, and you can easily do like the 20 25 damage on just one swing. So yeah, I think it's super value to have these anthem effects to create uh fairies. And Una is, I think, one of the best cards in the deck, because it can give you a lot of value. And it also gives you value by taking out value
Yeah,
of
like
your
the
opponent.
exile part is something not to be like
Hmm.
it's no
Yeah, yeah,
laughing
yeah.
matter.
Yeah, even if you're not comboing, like removing the whole deck, if you're removing 6 or 7 cards, it's great because you can remove their key elements of their decks.
Um
So yeah, Una, it's great.
yeah, it's one of
Una,
my
I
favorite cards.
yeah, Una is spiked in price since the new set revealed, and now we can kind of see why. Um, has a lot of interactions with good cards on the set.
Yeah.
And yeah, another creature that I think it's so good in the deck is like the perfect match for the deck. It's Glen Elendra
Yeah, I
Liege.
was just about to talk about this one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a creature. It's a fairy knight, which is on point for the deck for the new set. Also, it's a 1 generic and 3 hybrid blue or black mana. It has flying, and it reads other blue creatures you control get +1/+1, and also other black creatures you control get +1/+1. And Glen Leech is a 2/3. So it is a fairy, but it has a double anthem effect on her. So it's the
Yeah,
perfect
the
match
black
for the
part
deck.
is not always gonna be useful.
The the fairies that Alela
Are
creates
just
are
blue.
what? Blue? Just blue.
The ones
Okay.
that Una creates are blue and black, but the ones that Alela creates are just blue. But still, like
Hmm.
for 4 mana and possibly getting two anthems, it's good. Glen Elendra Leech like fits almost perfectly. Well, perfectly in this deck.
Yeah,
Um,
because she will get the bonus for the rest of the anthems that you have, and also she will give the other fairies another bonus. So yeah, most of the time just +1/+1. But I mean, for Una, for example, for Alela, it's +2/+2 on a creature. It's so good.
Another card that's perfect in this deck is Scion of Oona, which is a 3 CMC, 2 generic, 1 blue, creature fairy soldier. It's a 1/1. It has flash and flying. Also has other fairy creatures you control get +1/+1. Other fairies you control have shroud. Like,
Mm,
yeah,
that's
this
great.
card again is it's almost, well, it's perfect. The same for this deck. It's so good that it has flash and the shroud part, because I don't really have
Hmm.
things that target my own cards, like not really. And
Hmm.
it's like if someone just wanted to take out like Alela, I can just like give her shroud and something like that.
Yeah, and it is important because Alela, this is one of those commanders, in my opinion, that you really need your
Yeah, yeah,
commander
you
to have.
that's the janky part. Like that
Yeah, yeah.
Esper in itself is not really doesn't really give you a lot of mana, and you really need this commander in the field. So
Hmm.
it's gonna
I mean,
start adding up the times I have to cast her.
yeah, it's one of those snowball type of decks. It's not going to be super explosive at the beginning, but late game it can get super hard. And I mean, also the fun part, I think, you really need Alila in this deck, but also Una can work as your quote unquote secondary commander.
Yeah,
Because if you generate a lot of fairies with all the anthems, you can do a lot
yeah.
of damage. So Una and of course Alila are super important for the deck. But yeah, this guy, it's so good that gives Shroud an instant speed, and also it's an anthem on another fairy, so it's so good. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I think this deck has a lot of cool synergies that you don't seem. I mean, in my experience, most of the fairy decks are like control-ish, weird,
Yeah,
combo-y
like in
decks.
itself, the tribe is not that powerful or specifically good at something. It's like tricky.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Super
Yeah,
flavorful
I
though.
have another fairy. It's Sprite the Noble. It's 3 CMC, 1 generic, 2 blue. Creature fairy. It's a 2/2 with flying. it says other creatures you control with flying get +0/+1, which is not really helpful. But if you tap
Mhm.
Sprite Noble, it has other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0 until end of turn. So it's kind of like if she attacks, everyone gets uh, another Anthem effect. So
Gets
like
buffed.
these
Now,
three cards are these three fairies are like super
yeah,
in theme.
I want to ask you, now that you're talking about flyers, not just fairies, have you ever considered putting Sephara on the deck?
Ooh, the angel. Uh,
Sephara the Skyblade.
no.
Yeah.
This here's the thing. There's a lot of cards that could go very well in this deck, but
Hmm.
as they are not fairies, this is in the end this is a fairy tribal deck, and I'm not gonna play anything
Hmm.
that's not a fairy. Yeah, like I'm gonna go for the
Well,
flavor points on
yeah.
this one as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good choice though. Yeah, I was just thinking because Sephara can go good in the deck, but yeah, it's not a fairy, so sorrow, Sephara. Before moving on from the creatures, I want to talk about this guy because he's in the new set, and I think he's so fun. It's Rankle, Master of the Pranks. So it's a 2 generic, 2 black for a legendary creature, Fairy Rogue. It's a 3/3. Has flying and haste, and whenever Rankle, Master of Pranks, deals combat damage to a player, choose any number. Each player discards a card, each player loses 1 life and draws a card, and each player sacrifices a creature. So I think, I mean, first of all, it's a fairy, and second of all, it can give you a lot of value since you're having a lot of fairy tokens. So you can always choose the part of sacrificing a creature, and you will only lose 1 fairy, and the opponents might lose another brick creature. And also having the draw effect on a body, I think it's super important. And I don't know, did you put this guy just because he was
Yeah.
cool, or it has like a second
It
purpose?
was just because it's the new.
I mean, for yeah, yeah, for me, I was seeing this guy and I was like, yeah, I mean, if you're able to, you
Yeah,
play it,
absolutely.
right?
Like, there's a lot of cards. Like, I mean, the rest of the fairies are not so perfect match for the deck, but it's just like very valuable fairies, like Glen Elendra Archmage, which counters, or like
Hmm.
the pestermite or spellstutter sprite, and
Yeah, Vendilion
yeah, and
clique.
Vendilion clique if you got the cash,
If
if
you
you
have
have
the
the cheese.
cheese
Yeah, like
to,
there's well,
yeah.
not a lot, but there's like 9 fairies that are just good fairies, and or like I really like them,
Hmm.
and in the end it's a fairy tribal deck. Like it really gels well with the deck.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think for me, in the moment I saw Rankle, I was like, I want to play with this guy. I don't have a
Yeah, yeah,
deck
yeah.
for it, but yeah, it's super fun. And yeah, I mean, if I have the chance to play with him, I will. And I think in here fits perfectly just because it is a fairy,
Yep.
right? Um, so that's it for the creatures, right? Now we're moving to the heart of the deck, all the anthem effects.
I'm gonna
Um,
mention
I
some
mean,
in white, some artifacts, and some in blue. Like not all of
mhm,
them. There's a lot of. I'm running I don't know. Let me like 20.
the they they're like I think 15 or something like that.
17.
Yeah, 15. Wait,
So I'm running
17. Yeah.
17 anthems, which kind of counts. I count them like as running 17 extra fairies. Like,
Hmm.
but yeah, 17 anthems. Obviously, I'm not gonna read all of them, but I'm gonna.
I mean, most of them are like all of your creatures get +1/+1 with a
Yeah,
twist,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? But yeah, there's I'm seeing here one card that I want to mention. The one that you're thinking, because finally we are able to use it on
Okay,
something.
go ahead.
And yeah. Well, the first anthem, quote unquote, anthem card that we have here, it's Dragon Throne of Tharkhir. So let me find it real quick. And I was saying that we are able to find it because to use it, sorry, because at the beginning I saw. I mean, I always had. I think this card has a
Yeah,
lot
me
of
too. Like,
potential, but
yeah,
on
like
weird
I've
decks, right?
always wanted to play this card because I say, oh, okay, that's a lot of
Mhm.
value. But then you have like your commander
Yeah.
out and you want to hit with him instead of like staying in the back, and it can go in creature decks,
Mhm.
but maybe not really. It's a weird card, and I think this is the perfect
Yeah,
spot for it.
yeah. I don't think that there that many decks that have like a token strategy, but at the same time like a
Yeah,
powerful commander, like a
and like
10/10 commander,
yeah, like
but
here's the
also
thing with
tokens. Yeah,
Alela gets stronger with every anthem. Like even if every other
true,
creature dies, and let's say I have 3 anthems, it's a 5/5 flyer.
true. And you know what? You know what's funny? Now that I'm seeing the card like in the flesh, I think it can work fine also on my Elsha tokens deck because Elsha
The
has
Dragon Throne
prowess.
of Tharkhir.
Yeah. So as you cast the spells for creating tokens, Elsha gets bigger, and you can like use the prowess ability to pump up your tokens. Maybe I don't know, but
Yeah,
anyway, yeah,
that can work.
yeah.
Like you do some like two or three cantrips,
Uh huh.
and then you use the Dragon Throne.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to give your creatures +6/+6. So yeah, it can work.
And like here's like just Dragon Throne of Tharkhir is like insane. Like
Yeah.
let's say with just 1 anthem, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 fairy.
Mm-hmm.
And Dragon Throne of Tharkhir, let's say because you casted 2 fairies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of the fairies. Okay, here's the board state.
Mm-hmm.
We have 1 Alela,
Yep.
1 Glorious Anthem,
Yep.
and Dragon Throne of Tharkhir. That's it, right?
Uh-huh.
So, because of the Dragon Throne and the Glorious Anthem, I have 1 fairy for each of those because of Alela.
Yep.
So, Alela, it's
a 3/4.
Yeah, becomes a 3/4 because of the anthem.
Yep.
And the fairy, it's 3 something.
3/2.
3/2, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because of the thanks to the anthem effects, each anthem I get more. It's like doubling the anthems with Dragon Throne of Tharkhir.
Yep.
Because like I equip this to Alela. Now and I tap it. Now every creature, it's whatever power Alela has plus the anthems.
Mm-hmm. So if you have just by having 2
Alela
anthems,
right?
Yeah, you can have all your creatures get +4/+4 plus of the anthems. So you will have
and the it's the plus of the anthems
mm-hmm.
plus the Dragon of Tharkhir with a boosted of the anthems Alela. It's kind of messy,
yeah,
but
it works.
You'll get it.
Let me read the card because we haven't read it. So it's Dragon.
Oh, we haven't read it?
No, Dragon Throne of Tharkhir. So it's a legendary artifact equipment for 4 generic, of course, and it reads: equipped creature has defender and pay 2 and tap it, and other creatures you control gain trample. Also gain trample. What? And get +X until the end of the turn, where X is that creature's power, and it costs 3 to equip it. So
it's a legendary artifact equipment. So as we were
saying, I didn't saw the trample there, so it's great.
So everything now has flying and trample.
Yeah, and at least in a good board state. Let's talk not dreamy but good. You will have let's say 4 fairy tokens with 4 anthem effects and Alela. So you will have
4, but let's say just 2 anthems.
2. Yeah,
and the Dragon Throne of Tharkhir.
And
that's like 8. I have 8 flyers.
So the fairies will be like 3/2, and then Alela will be a 4, and they will get 4. So you will have 2/7/7 trample. Just by
and
having 2.
And the plus part of Alela, remember, so it's 8.
Yeah, 8. 2/8/8 flying trample. Hitting
Yeah.
at one guy, at one poor guy.
Yeah.
And this is on a weird and regular board state. I mean, having 2 is just like the beginning of the game. If you're able to do this on late game with, I don't know, 5 or 6 anthems, you can easily boost your fairies like +7 or +8 just by the throne, without counting the anthems.
I'm gonna have like 7 16 16s.
Yeah, with trample and flying.
That's that's the like the ceiling, right? I'm gonna count them as all like my math and stuff. It's been with 2 anthems because I don't think people are gonna easily let me anthem up.
Well, no, but you don't see that many enchantment removals. I mean, I can assure you that they will remove like 2 or 3, but more than that, it gets difficult. I mean, you don't see many decks running like 5 or 4 enchantment removals.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We will need to wait and see. But yeah, finally we get to use Dragon Throne of Tharkhir, and I will be using it too on my Elsha tokens.
I've convinced you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Dragon Throne of Tharkhir is one of the most spicy anthem parts.
Yeah.
Of the anthem subgeneral that we're going on here.
So I'm gonna continue with the artifacts. So I'm gonna jump to a pretty basic and a staple of EDH in tribal decks.
Wait. Before moving to the artifacts, I think you should read
but
that bit
like,
offering.
We started with Dragon Throne of Tharkhir, so I'm gonna stay.
So we're on the anthems or the other artifacts?
And the anthem artifacts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Coat of Arms. It's a 5 generic. It's a 5 CMC, 5 generic artifact. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least one creature type with it. And it even says, for example, if 2 goblin warriors and a goblin shaman are on the battlefield, each gets +2/+2. So obviously with Alela, just by having another
2,
another like 2, it gets +2/+2, and they all get +1, and the extra of the coat of arms. Like, this grows exponentially. For each fairy you get, they all get even more strong. So that this card is pretty simple. It's
the coat of arms. Yeah, it can get out of hand so easily. Again, if you're having like 5, they will get +4 plus all the anthems. So
the only thing that's like kind of about this card is that it also gives the +1 to your opponent.
Yeah, if you're on a table with a lot of tribes, it can get super crazy.
Yeah, like I think the only thing I fear is like a dragon tribal deck, because no one on the table is gonna have flyers.
Yeah, true. If you're against goblins,
or just angels, you know,
kill the player with the goblins first, and then you move on. I mean, yeah, coat of arms is great. That part, it's like is. I think that's the obviously the part that most players like fear, because there's a lot of tribes right now.
Yeah.
But it's a great card. I mean, and if you have the board state, like most of the times you will have the upper board state creature wise. It's great. It can work on your favor most of the times.
So one of the last artifacts I'm gonna touch. Well, not artifacts. The anthem artifacts. I'm gonna go with Obelisk of Urd, which is a generic 6 CMC artifact, and this is good because it has Convoke. So your creatures can help can help cast this spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for one generic or 1 mana of that creature's color. As Obelisk of Urt enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, obviously fairy, and creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2. So the thing is, I'm not the anthems are not the only artifacts and enchantments I'm running. I'm running ramp in artifacts. I'm running card drawing enchantments, all of that. So I'm gonna have a lot of extra fairies, not just because of the anthems. And that's gonna help me pay for the combo cost. So maybe I'll just pay 3 mana and tap 3 cards, and I'm now my fairies are +2/+2.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, the good old obelisk of Earth. I mean, you see this card on every tribe because it's so easy to get on the field, to get it on the field, and yeah, +2/+2 is no joke. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it, but it works. Now, I just thought of this. Have you ever considered playing the Black Blade Reforged card?
No.
If you're able, hear this. If you're able to get the Black Blade Reforged on Alela and then play the Dragon Throne of Tharkhir, it can get crazy, you know? Like +8/+8 easily.
That's just like, I mean, yeah, but that's just magic in Christmas land.
Living the dream like Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of weird combinations that you can do to grow up your fairy team, and one of them, which I think it's super interesting because you don't see this card that often, is Death Pit Offering.
Yeah.
So Death Pit Offering, it's an enchantment. It's 2 generic, 2 black. And it reads, when Death Pit's Offering enters the battlefield, sacrifice all creatures you control. And then creatures you control get +2/+2. So obviously you want to play this first, if you're able to.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that if I play it, Alela dies.
Yeah, you need to play this. Alela costs 4, right?
Yeah.
So you need to, by any weird situation, have this first.
Yeah, like play Death Pit Offering in one of those moments after a board wipe or before I start popping off. And because have we read it?
Yeah.
So like yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it sacrifices all my creatures and they all get +2/+2. The thing is, it's 4 mana, so it's on the cheaper side of Anthems. But it's kind of risky.
For 2 mana, for +2/+2, yes, it's on the cheaper side.
Yeah, for +2/+2, it's good. Like, so yeah, I'm probably never gonna get the fairy from this card because I don't want to cast Alela just for her to die. But it's good. Like, yeah, it's as I said, it's kind of quirky. It's almost never seen.
Yeah. And as you were saying, after a mass removal or whatever, you can play this and start again rebuilding your team. And yeah, again, another quick note: have you ever considered playing Open the Vaults?
Which one was that?
Open the Vaults is a sorcery, 4 generic, 2 white.
Oh yeah, return all artifacts and enchantments, right?
Yes.
I did it first because if I lose all of them, it's gonna be painful. But I don't really want to give my opponents their stuff back. I'm not really up for that because artifacts and enchantments.
You will get more value though.
Probably. I'll think about, like, we can have it on the
maybe pile.
On the maybe pile and like test it out because as these cards are not out, I still have to test them a little bit.
Yep.
Let's talk about the prime color for Anthems, which is white. And obviously,
Yep.
we're gonna have the glorious anthems and your spear of heliod, and I think there's one from Modern Horizons called
Force of Virtue.
yeah, I think something like
Yep.
that. But let's talk about the weird ones, right?
Yep.
So the first one is Call for Unity. Can you read it?
Yes. So call for unity. let me pop it up. Call for unity. Okay. So it's an enchantment for 3 generic, 2 white, and it reads. It has the ability Revolt, which is at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, put a unity counter on Call for Unity. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each unity counter on Call for Unity. So
This is like an
yeah, I
all
mean,
or nothing card, right? Like super
yes,
risky. Like you may not
yeah,
get it to pop off, but if it pops off, oh man.
yeah. It only triggers once. The revolt only triggers once, and on your end step, which is the a fair
Yeah,
part.
only
Because
on your turn.
otherwise, it will be crazy. This card will be like $100. But I mean, yeah, as you're losing fairies for removal or for whatever reason, as you rebuild your team, they grow bigger.
Yeah.
So if you have this and then you get like two, let's say two, let's be realistic, and yeah, two. You're getting a buff, a +2/+2 buff just for that those two creatures which died
Yeah, and here's the thing, like
late
I'm
game.
gonna I'm gonna be
Mhm.
attacking. And if I attack, they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be blocking. Like they have to block. Even if there's flyers, they kind of have to block. Or maybe yeah,
Mhm.
like uh
Yeah, I mean, if they don't block, you don't need the revolt because you're winning.
yeah. So if they block
Yeah.
and my fairy dies, then that's a trigger. So
Hmm.
maybe this card kind of makes people not block, right? Like makes them unblockable as a secret effect.
Hmm. And I mean, I think this is one of those cards that most of the peoples are like, yeah. I mean, it's good. I will take care of it in like 4 turns. But in those 4 turns, your fairies had like 8/8, so there's nothing much to do for to take care of them. Because it's an slow card to be sure, but I like the grindy part of it. I mean, if you're able to work this out and grind this out to the late game, if you're getting +4/+4, that's excellent value for it. And you just need to they just need to remove 4 creatures, which is super easy for them.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna
Um,
go with the second white weird anthem, which is one
mhm,
of the new ones. It's from Commander 19. Is
mhm,
Commander's Insignia. It's a 4 CMC,
mhm.
2 generic to white enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. So obviously
Mhm.
Alela, it's important part of my deck. Obviously I'm gonna cast her a lot of times. Just from
Yep.
2 times I've casted her, again it's +2/+2, which is cheap for a 4 mana anthem that comes with its fairy attached.
Yep. And like we were saying at the beginning, this is one of those decks that needs the commander out. So, I mean, if you open with this with commander's insignia, you will at I don't know in mid game you will have like +3/+3 or something
Yeah,
like that because you need to play Alela a lot. I
just
mean,
from one
you
anthem.
have to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just for one anthem. Yeah,
Remember,
remember
like,
that.
yeah, I
Um,
want to keep casting these things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We are like talking about each specific one, but if you combine all of them, just by having like 2 or 3, you're giving your creatures. Let's say that you have this and also call for unity and the good old the one. What is the name of the heliod one? +2
Spear of
+2 and
Heliod.
flash.
No, Dictate of
No,
Heliod,
dictate
which
of
is, yeah,
heliod.
+2/+2 and
If you
flash.
have, yeah, if you have just by having those 3, you're getting your creature like +6/+6
Yeah.
easily. Plus Alela, of course. So it's +7/+6.
Flyers.
So your fairies are like 8/7 flyers.
I'm super hyped up.
and
I'm
if
super
you
hyped
have
for this
and
deck.
if you have the Dragon Throne of Tharkhir, you will have like 3/24/24 trample flying in everything.
I'm gonna read one last white one because there's from other colors. I'm not gonna go like a specific. Again, I'm not gonna go specific with every anthem I have, but okay, I'm gonna go for Marshall's Anthem. It's 4 generic, 4 CMC, 2 generic, 2 white, enchantment, multi-kicker of a 1 generic and a 1 white. You may pay an additional 1 generic and 1 white any number of times as you cast the spell. So each time you pay the multi-kicker, you have to pay it as that, as two mana, 1 generic, 1 white. Creatures you control get +1/+1. That's one effect that doesn't change. Now, when Marshall's Anthem enters the battlefield, return up to X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of times Marshall's Anthem was kicked. So obviously, I don't run a lot of creatures, so I don't run a lot of reanimator effects or recursion effects. But Marshall Anthem, in one thing that I already am doing, which is an anthem, gets me the possibility to maybe take back some of the valuable creatures, like Oona or one of the
the
or
liege.
the liege, something like that.
Yeah, and so for 6, well, no, you can. You need to kick it at least once, right, to return one creature. So for 6, if you return the liege to the battlefield, you're giving your creatures at the very least +2/+2, and you will get a fairy out of it. So it's super valuable. Yep. Yeah, I think this card is that is also one of those cards that I always want to play, but I don't. I keep like fitting the slots and like Martian Anthem is good but not great. I don't know, but it's great on this deck, and it's great that have an extra effect on an anthem.
It's super important to me, like that I had like anthems that did something extra, or quirky ways to get them in the field. Also, I want to mention 2 blue anthems I have. One is good because it's very cheap. So like normally anthems are 4 mana, right? So maybe I want to get something cheap out. So let's go to the blue part, which is favorable winds. It's a 2 CMC, 1 generic, 1 blue, enchantment. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. The good thing is every creature I control has flying.
Yeah, every creature on the deck, right? Yeah. So, and I mean, it's a great card, plain and simple. But the spicy one, the cheeky one, is Gravitational Shift, which is an enchantment, 3 generic, 2 blue, and it reads creatures with flying. All creatures with flying get +2/+0, but the creatures without flying get -2/-0. So that's the spicy one,
that's the
right?
spicy one.
Because because I mean, you will destroy other
No, not destroy, because I mean, well, okay, I got you.
You will, because the tokens, most of the tokens, I mean, in general, I like 1/1 or 2/1s or whatever, and it's like I mean, you're removing all the strong part of. For example, my my deck again. If you play this, I'm like, okay, and my tokens are like 0/1. But I mean, obviously you're buffing all the creatures with flying. Again, if you're facing Dragon Tribal, this can get like tricky for you.
The counter to this deck is an Angel Tribal and a Dragon Tribal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the direct
Yeah.
counter for it. Dragons and angels, and what else? No, just that. You don't see that many angel tribal decks, but you do see a lot of dragons. So you need to be careful with gravitational shift.
Yep. Um. So besides my anthems, obviously I have a lot of. Oh, okay, let me search for the. There you go. I have a lot of value enchantment and artifacts. Because remember, I want to keep casting this the enchantment and artifact types because
Mm-hmm.
my commander triggers with it. So I'm gonna mention behind the scenes. It's 3 CMC, 2 generic, 1 black card, 1 black mana. Sorry, enchantment, and it says creatures you control have skulk. Skulk says it's a keyword that means they can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. It has an activated ability of 4 generic and 1 white, which makes your creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So this kind of serves as a pseudo anthem, but the
Mm-hmm.
cool part is the skulk, which like obviously
Yep.
I want to make my fairies grow, but while I'm still getting there, it's a very big problem that I cannot attack if I have a, let's say, 2/3/3 fairies, right? And I want to attack, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't because he has a very big flying blocker, and maybe I don't want to give out my fairy token so easily. Well, Skulk helps with that because now I know I can take the punch because or at least trade the punch.
Yep. And at the very least, it's a mana sink. So late game,
Yeah,
if you have a ton of mana, you can. I mean, I already. I'm thinking that you in any games you can be like, well, I will pay like 12, and my creatures will grow, and I will kill you with one swing.
yeah, to close out the game.
Yeah. So it's good to have that late game effect. I think the deck in general wants to go into the late game. Wants
Yeah, it's kind
to.
of stall a little bit and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
get into the late game.
and that cards behind the scenes serves the purpose to give you something at the mid game or the beginning of the game, which is the skulk part, and then paying 6, it's the late game part, which you can sink all your mana. Because also, as you're casting a ton of these spells, if you don't have the any constant draw effect, you will be stuck just with creatures. So it's good to have that mana sink effect to at the very least give one big punch to a player.
And for the other like value card, well, it's I'm say other two, but
Mm,
the second one of these value cards is Anointed Procession.
mm,
It's a very famous card in token strategies. It reads for CMC, yeah, 3 generic, 1 white enchantment. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead. Obviously, you can see why this card is so good in this deck.
mhm. I mean, it's
Uh,
it's great on any token strategy. Of course, it's your doubling season in white, and as you cast it, if you cast it, it will give you 2 already, or do you need to cast the next
no,
one?
no, no, it has to be on the field.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. So I mean, but it's great. I mean that card, it's a must for any token strategy. But in here serves serves a purpose because it gives you an extra token just for playing it. So
And
and
the last card, can you read this one for me?
yeah,
It's
I think we're thinking about the same one. I think it's a
okay.
sorcery, right?
No.
Ah, damn. Well, I want to read
Okay,
this.
okay. Read the sorcery.
Okay, so it's called Dance of the Mans. It's a great card, great art, and it's a sorcery. It's X and one white and one uh blue. X white blue. Yeah. and it reads return up to X target artifacts or non-aura enchantments cards, each with converted mana cost X or less, from your graveyard to the battlefield. If X is 6 or more, those permanents are 4/4 creatures in addition to the other types.
So this
So,
kind of serves like, yeah, like recursion and
mhm,
like a finisher at the same time.
yes, you are playing it, of course, mainly for the return part. You're
Yeah,
returning your
anthems back.
anthems and maybe ramp or whatever. But the part that they become 4/4s, it's fun and it's super flavorful with the set and with the draw, with the art, with the name. I love the card.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super happy about them not being fairies,
Yeah,
but you have to be a little flexible at times. The good part is that it's not a creature type; it's just enchantment creatures.
yeah. So you're
And
not breaking the tribal
let's say
theme on
let's say
here.
I get 6 anthems back because of Dance of the Mans,
Hmm.
then all of them are 10/10s.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Then I have 6 10/10 cards out.
Which those 6/6 cards give +1 to the other fairies. So it's, yeah, they're buffing themselves, but also the fairies. So it's the full circle. And also,
Um,
yeah, the card is great. I mean, yeah.
for now, I want to start like a quick mention to my ramp.
Mhm.
Like all the typical cards. Like I'm getting Soul Ring, the Dimir Signet, the Arcane Signet, as it already comes in the deck.
True.
Commander Sphere. Uh, I run Sword of the Animist. That's one card I really like.
Hmm.
But in this new set again, I actually have a card that serves both purposes, which is really fun. It's like this deck. It's really synergic and coming together, right?
Hmm.
So it's an artifact. It's called Heraldic Banner. It's 3 CMC artifact. As Heraldic Banner enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0. You tap it, add 1 mana of the chosen color. So it's a mana rock that is also an anthem.
Yeah. When I saw this card, I was like, yeah, man. I mean, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's a mana rock that it's an anthem.
It's
What? Wait,
yeah,
what?
like it gives you a fairy, it's ramp, and it's an anthem. It's perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the new staple for tribal decks. I think. I don't see any reasons why you wouldn't run this card if you're running tribal.
No, in tribal, I don't know. Depends on the tribe because like
On
there's
So
tribes
is it
that are
staple on
different colors.
monocolor decks?
Yeah,
You will see. Because for example, on a Skithiryx, I will run it.
you will. I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean it's you want to ramp, and then the +1 is like, yeah, okay, I'll take it. Yeah, it's fun. But for this
Um,
deck, it's great. I mean, like you said, it gives you a fairy, it grows the fairy, and also ramps you. So yeah,
so
in
for one of the last value cards, like just value that don't serve a lot of purpose, I'm gonna go with this card is a must. You can't build the deck without this card. If you don't have this card, you
Mhm.
better not build the deck. Like just do something else.
Okay, yeah.
It's Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
Two
I mean,
two two
yeah, yeah, yeah.
CMC, one generic, one black mana, tribal enchantment fairy.
Yeah, so everything that you need, an
Yeah,
enchantment and a
at
fairy.
the
Yeah.
beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature token with flying. Uh, the bad part is that the fairy is black. Obviously, you don't have to run it. I'm just putting this on the list because it's super super awesome and it's super expensive. So
Yeah. It's super awesome. It's and super expensive.
yeah, you don't really
Um
have to run it. It's just one of those
I mean, if you
flashy
have
cards.
the box topper version, you can, good for you, man. I mean, you can run it.
You have to run it if you have the
Uh-huh.
box topper.
If you don't have the box topper, I mean, don't don't do it. No, I mean, any of the version is good and it's great. And I mean, yeah, it's the perfect fit again for the deck. Um, for the same reason that it goes into every token deck, generates a ton of tokens, and weirdly enough, gets like under the radar a lot. I don't know why.
I'm gonna post the deck list. I think in the comment section. I don't know if it's gonna take you like to. I don't know yet if I'm gonna put it in like in another page like tapped out or just in the comment section out there.
Hmm.
But like so you can guys can like take more like look more closely the deck list because obviously this is just like a very surface level. I'm just gonna go with the last part of the deck. Oh no, sorry, there's still two more. Like it's the draw and the removal. So I'm gonna go with draw first. I'm just gonna mention some cards.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of cards. Obviously, all of them or most of them are enchantments. Uh,
Hmm.
but a lot of them have to do with attacking or dealing damage. So I'm gonna run Kindred Discovery, which you choose a tribe, and each time a card of that tribe enters the battlefield or attacks, you draw a card. Um, which is good because I mean I'm gonna be attacking with a lot of fairies. One favorite, which is Bident of Thassa, and Coastal Piracy, which both you draw a card when you deal the damage.
Hmm.
So
So I think those two are the better cards. In again, in if you're running a ton of creatures, if you have a ton of creatures, you need to run Bident of Tassa and Coastal Piracy. Um, and yeah, I think it's a perfect fit for the deck, and it also serves the purpose that it can generate you a ton of fairies just by playing them.
I'm also running as kind of card draw, a new card called Fairy Formation, which is from this new set. It's a 5 CMC, 4 generic, 1 blue, creature fairy, flying. It's a 5/4. You
Mhm.
pay 3 generic and 1 blue to activate, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying, draw a card.
Mhm.
It's just a cute card that really goes well with the deck.
Yeah, it gives you draw, it gives you a fairy, and it's on theme. So yeah, everything that you want.
And
Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I mean another cute card that I see here on the draw. It's Argyl's Bloodfest, which is an enchantment for one generic and one
you
black.
really like this card.
I do, yeah. I think it's an underrated card. I don't. I I've encountered a lot of persons that said that it's a bad card, but for me, it's
No,
not.
I really liked it.
Uh, yeah,
I really liked this card since it came out.
yeah, yeah. It's a legendary enchantment. For one, and it reads one generic and one black. Pay to life, draw a card, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform Argyle Bloodfast, and it transforms into the Temple of weird name, Temple of
Aklasots.
Aklatsots, Temple of Aklatsots. Yes, so it's legendary land, and tap it reads tap for add one black to your mana pool, or tap sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrifice creature toughness.
So if
So
yeah, if you're in late game and you have a lot of
yeah,
anthems, I can sacrifice
um,
one token and get a bunch of life back.
yep. For me, I always run this instead of greed. But I mean, obviously, if you have the space on the deck, you run both.
Yeah, I'm
But
running both.
yeah, but I think Argos Bloodfest is underrated and it's a great card. And just for the record, I only I was able to transform this card like 2 times. Just like two I remember just like 2 times. But both of those times I won the game. For being in on 5 to start sacrificing creatures and gaining a ton of life, I was able to turn around the game. So yeah, run Argos Bloodfest, or don't, because let's keep it at 150. Don't run it.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
Yeah, it's cheaper than greed, which is it's weird.
Because I think it's
But
because greed is only one black mana. This one is two
yeah, I
black for
mean,
the card draw
yeah,
effect.
yeah, you will be able to draw cards of greed, but in the late game, Argos gives you all that you spend on it. It gives you back that life. Mm, so yeah, great draw spells. We have, yeah, I think the draw on this particular one is so consistent, and so I mean, yeah, you have the constant flow of drawing by Coastal Piracy and Trident of Tassa, and also the other ones that you need to pay life or whatever. But it's constant and it's solid, solid draw.
And,
Yeah,
and the last part for removal, which kind of also serves as protection. I'm running, the classics, counterspell. I'm running
yeah,
one counterspell, one swan song.
yeah.
Um,
The use.
yeah, the Day of Judgment as a board wipe in Garruk's Wake, Other End. There's two cards I want to mention here. Oh,
Mhm.
actually three cards. So one is Stolen by the Fae, which is a new card again. Man, this set is amazing. Stolen by the
Hmm.
Fae. It's two generic. No, it's two blue and X generic sorcery. Return target creature with converted mana cost X to its owner's hand. You create an X 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying. So let's say it's kind of expensive to return one creature. Let's say your opponent has a 7/7, so you have to pay uh 9 mana to return that 7/7 to the hand, like not even
Yeah,
nothing else.
in sorcery
But
speed. Oh,
yeah, it's also speed. But you put 7 tokens, so you kind
yeah.
of maybe you can use it on the little guys and get a lot of value.
Hmm.
I like that card.
I mean, yeah, and even you can. It's like a pseudo politic card in which you can return maybe an ETB creature, and you get the fairies, and they will get the effect again, maybe.
Now for
And
another removal. Now this one's a spicier one because I don't think a lot of people run it, and I really like it. It's Angelic Purge, 3 CMC, 2 generic, 1 white sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Angelic Purge, sacrifice a permanent. So I can sacrifice a token or whatever.
mhm.
And it says exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment.
Yep,
So I don't really care about sacrificing my permanents. Maybe this helps me with the revolt trigger,
yep,
uh, and exiles the thing. And the last one, it's a new card.
yeah.
It's
I
from
was about to. I was thinking of that
the
also.
True Love's Kiss.
Yep.
4 CMC, 2 generic, 2 white, instant, exile target artifact or enchantment, draw a card.
Hmm. So it serves the purpose of removal, and also it gives you a card, and you are running it because it's new and it's fun.
Mm-hmm. It's good to
Yeah.
try new fun things, and it's like draw card. So it also like flavorful because it's kind of like a storybook thing, like
Hmm.
and the decks with the fairies. It's the fairy tale deck. It's super fun. Um, I'm super excited to build this deck. I really can't wait. It's gonna be hard to get um all the
The
anthems.
enchantments. Uh huh.
Yeah, the anthems around. But I don't know. I'm super excited for this deck.
Yeah, if you're able to survive the early and the mid, and I'm not saying about people hitting you because I think the deck works well with not being a threat at the beginning.
Yeah,
You need to worry about the Chroma's Vengeance type of effects.
yeah. Board waves
Um.
that just take all my enchantments away. It's the
Yep.
really hard part. So maybe
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I would I will run open the vaults. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, you can always run open the vaults or any. If you have it, you can run the fairies protection. um, but yeah, you need to work on being able to come back if you get your anthems removed. But if you're able to go into late game, I think this is one of those decks in which the late game favors them a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, yeah. And I like those type of decks because they are grindy. And I like the grind games. Yes.
Like something that's really important about Alela, it's like the lifelink with this anthem effect is gonna be super valuable.
Hmm.
Like maybe it can help me catch up after losing a lot of life in the early game.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, always the lifelink is important, but if you have it on mass quantity, you will be able to do stuff. And yeah, I mean, as I'm thinking it more, I think open the balls, you should run it because it's if you're seeing it's a weird living death type of card
Yeah,
in this deck. So because you're like on zero, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I get like 12, well, 10, 7 anthem effects, and next turn I will be able to cast. I don't know, return the one that creates you X fairies, and you will have like let's say 6, 7, 7 fairies, for example, just by running open the bolts. So I think it works like a pseudo living death, and I mean, yeah, I think the deck in general, like I was mentioning at the beginning, it has a lot of synergy and a lot of um, fun potential. And yeah, I'm glad that you took the fun and creative way instead of um
yeah,
the
like the typical
classic
road of
Esper.
because I think people are gonna build Alela as like a pillow fort deck
Hmm.
or like a combo we deck, and I'm not with that. I'm happy with how this turned out. Uh,
Yep.
I was gonna say something. Totally forgot. As for the mana base, I don't really want to touch a lot of that because I don't think it's really interesting. It's just a lot of cards for three color decks. The three color lands, the temples, and the terramorphic expanses, and the evolving wilds, and the guild gates. I play guild gates. I'm with that,
Hmm.
and the typical
Yeah.
things.
Just the good old give me the colors that I want land.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, nothing super spicy, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see the deck in the future.
oh, me too, man.
And yeah, it was a great return for the fairies because the wanna the deck you had of fairies, it was fun, but I mean, I don't know, I think this is like the the better version of it.
Yeah, it's the better because I ran a lot of fairies that really didn't do anything, that they were just there. That was it. But yeah,
Hmm.
now everything has a purpose, and it's super, I don't know, super synergistic. And like
Yeah.
I'm so happy like I can finally play the Dragon Throne of Tharkhir.
So no, yeah, so I'm looking forward for the deck, and I want to see how it turns out against the Corbold Faker's King that we are mentioning. We are building in the future, so stay
We
tuned for
will.
that. Yeah, we are. It's a surprise for everyone here.
It's another of the brawl decks.
Yeah. So keep in touch and keep tuning in to check the new brawl decks. We will. I think for sure Victor is going to build
Tulane.
the Tulane. So we are going to end up building all four of these guys in the commander version. So stay tuned for
I
that.
don't I don't know if we were gonna post all
And
of them, but yeah.
But yeah, we will mention them at the very least. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything else to your awesome Alela artful provocateur
No,
deck.
that's just it. I'm super hyped for Throne of Eldraine. Seems like a really fun set, and I'm ready to go. I just want the cards, man.
Yeah,
Bring them on.
yeah, they did it again. They did it again. We are hyping win one thing and then all of a sudden another thing.
Yeah.
Come on.
When
Yeah,
will ever?
so
When will it ever stop?
never. And then man, we're returning to Theros,
Oh
we're
yeah, the
returning to
return to Theros.
Zendikar. So I'm already hyped for the next year. So I don't know, man. What's going to happen?
So we forgot to say number ones because I remembered now because I'm just gonna say. So remember number ones. Follow us on
True,
on
true,
Twitter.
true.
Follow us on Twitter, on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, retweet. Show it to your classroom, to your classmates.
Mhm.
Talk about the deck.
To your dog.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
I don't know. Follow us on whenever you can. Our Twitter is Salty Commander 1 because we are number ones and you are number ones.
And-
Uh,
Yeah, you're number ones.
and
And follow us on our
YouTube channel.
accounts and YouTube channel. And yeah, let us know what you think about the
Yeah,
new
let me
decks,
know
about the
how you feel about
new
this
set.
deck. What would you personally think it's a good card? And because this deck is still very fresh and I haven't tested it yet, obviously, so I'm still in the process
Mhm.
of it. But maybe some things I missed can be quite good. So comment
Yeah.
and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, guys, and we will see you again in the next episode. Of course.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.